What's going on, everybody? It's Bill Bailey with today's Boondoggle on Domain Cleveland Radio. And I get to speak with a band that I got to experience for the first time this past weekend at the Inkcarceration Music Festival. Help me pronounce it correctly. Pistacia?
Pistacia.
Pistacia. All right. Yes. So not like pistachios.
Close though. Close.
Yeah.
Right. No one gets it the first time. I don't feel bad.
Well, I typed up. I went to do a Google search on your guys' name, and it came up with the plant that's my background right now. So,
love that.
Wow.
Yeah, nice. We are named after a tree, so that's very appropriate, actually.
Sweet. So, usually when I have somebody on for the first time, I like to get a little bit of a background. So, before we get into things, originally, so I'm speaking with Vic and Theo, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So first I'll start with Vic. Originally, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Okay, so I had a bazillion dream jobs, and my number one was a singer. Wow, the first one was singer. Probably Broadway, but still.
Nice. And how about you, Theo?
I wanted to be a saxophone player.
Sweet.
So, yeah, I never told you that, but yeah, that's what I wanted.
You inspired by the Lost Boys or anything like that?
No, even dumber actually is, well, not that that's dumb, but I was actually inspired by Sesame Street when they're like, put down the rubber ducky if you want to play the saxophone, that song.
Sweet. I'll have to go down that rabbit hole and check it out.
Yeah, it was good. And
then when was it for you guys that you first discovered music growing up?
Well, music's kind of just always been in my house. My mother's Hispanic, and so it was just a huge part of her culture and therefore mine. And I was really into Disney princesses. So yeah, that's my intro to music, just all of that stuff.
Nice.
And how about you, Theo?
For me, I think it was like my dad is a classical pianist, and so he forced me to do piano. And I hated it. But then at some point I got the Beatles Rock Band game when I was 12, and I was like, yo, the Beatles are sick and rock music is sick. And so I learned guitar and taught myself and got, the rest is, where I am now. So.
Sweet. And then so then about when you guys were in high school, did you do anything with music in high school too and start any bands before this one?
Well, for me, I lived in a very small town in North Carolina for high school, and we had the school choir and our school's musical, which I was in. So that's really all I was able to do in high school. I couldn't do anything outside of school. Just choir, really. It wasn't until I got to Berkeley College of Music where I finally started making my own music and rock music. So.
And how about you, Theo?
So for me, I went to a performing arts school, a charter school in Minneapolis, where I'm from. And so there were a lot of students and bands and everything. And so I had a couple bands, and we gigged and stuff. I only had one that was actually moderately good. And we got we played a lot of metal shows and stuff. And then I went to Berkeley, and now we're in a band, so we do that.
And then I'd like you to explain for our audience that might not know too much about it, because I was reading your bio and I was pretty impressed with this program that Berkeley has, and then kind of getting you guys out to play a big festival like Inkcarceration almost seemed was that part of the internship or the extra credit for a grade? Or you want to explain the program you guys are in?
Yeah, sure. So BPMI, Berkeley Popular Music Institute, consists of staff and students that send other students to festivals. So we didn't like sign up for anything. This isn't part of a grade for us, but the group of people this year at BPMI that wanted to send folks to festivals, they needed a metal band, and there was a few on campus they knew about, and they interviewed, I don't know how many there were, but we weren't like their like number one like pick, you know. We had to go through a process to be selected for this festival. We had an interview with them, showed them our music, showed them performance videos, and that's what really like sold us to them. I mean, I don't want to like toot our own horn, but we like know how to put on a show, you know, and that's like the number one part of artistry is just being on stage and knowing what to do. And they saw that in us. So.
And then how'd you guys like get like hip to this program out in Berkeley? And like, what's the process that you guys had to go through to get in?
So traditionally they have a form that you could sign up and maybe you'd be selected. But this year was different because no one knew the festival was going to happen until it was like too late for the application process. So BPMI did a bunch of awesome work themselves and scouted out metal bands in our school to interview. So we were reached out to by them so that we can go through said process because yeah, like I said, we didn't know if because of COVID, this festival was going to happen. So.
Yeah, I'm glad it did.
Yes,
oh my God. I wasn't ready to like accept mentally, like, and prepare for like just like how ecstatic I felt about the festival. I like didn't let myself get excited until like the day before, like when we flew out, I was like, this is happening.
Yeah.
But I was so worried it wouldn't happen.
Yeah, you and me both, man. I've been waiting myself just to be a fan and out in the crowd and getting to enjoy music again. Like Theo, so what was your like process getting to Berkeley and getting into the program there?
Yeah, so like getting to Berkeley, like in general, or getting in this band, like
into Berkeley in general, and then we'll start talking about the band.
Yeah, so for Berkeley, I was just kind of like, I didn't want to go to college, and like my parents really like wanted me to, and so I was like, all right, the only college that like I would want to go to if I were to go to college is Berkeley, because then I could like flex on all my friends that like I went to Berkeley because it sounds cool, and I know Dream Theater went there, and so I was like, all right, bet this is the school that I'm going to apply to. Like this is all I care about, and if I don't get in, I'm not going to college because I don't care. And I like ended up getting in, and so I was like, oh, that's sick. So I went. Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Nice. And then like, so were you guys like we'll talk about the beginnings now of the band. Like, were you guys a band before Berkeley, or did you meet in Berkeley, or how did that happen? How did the band come together?
Well, we met in Berkeley. So Theo and I have known each other for a few years, 3.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 years. 4 years.
Going on, yeah, around that. And like through school, like all like in school, because he's from Minnesota, I'm from North Carolina. There's no way we could have,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was in a band that I knew that like I was close to, and eventually we became friends, and now we're roommates. And so I needed a guitarist, and Theo is the best guy for the job. So
thank you.
Of course. Not only that, but he has amazing vocals that we're going to incorporate more in the future. Yeah,
appreciate that. Yo.
And yeah, basically he was in a band, we were friends, and I started forming Pistacia, and I really wanted him on board.
Yo, what's funny is the song that we just released is called Loaded Gun. check that song out. I'm biased, but I think it's pretty good. That song, we like literally started working on it in 2018, and it was like for this project that I was just not responsible enough at the time as a leader to like actually give. I don't know, like I wasn't in a place where I could like actually like make that happen and like get stuff done. And so I ended up just kind of scrapping it and whatever. And then literally when we got this gig opportunity from BPMI, we were just like, yo, we need more music. And like, we just revived it. And yeah. So, but check it out. It's pretty good. I like it. I like it, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And then like you guys, so you're up there in Boston. Have you been like playing out part of the Boston music scene there? Or?
Yeah, so we've had one show in Boston since COVID, and we have another one lined up for early in October. We're going to New Hampshire at the end of October. It's been difficult finding shows either because bills are filled or struggling to find bands to play with. Like I know there's like quite a few, but all of them have already got gigs lined up. So doing what we can to get more, maybe even for next year, but we have a few coming up this month.
Yeah, it's like everybody's been sitting around waiting to get out, and as soon as the gates open, everybody jumped in and signed up.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Oh, totally.
It's been a struggle, but we're doing everything we can to, I don't know, utilize this gig that we just had, and I don't know, play more around here.
Yeah, get your name out there. So like speaking of your name, like, do you mind telling our audience like the meaning behind the name and what made you choose it?
Sure, I'd love to. So I loved learning about like ancient Egyptian culture when I was much younger, and I loved I wanted to incorporate it somehow without being like distasteful or anything. So Pistacia is just on the surface the name of a tree. But in ancient Egypt, they would use the resin from this tree. They would pour it into skulls to prevent them from collapsing during mummification. So
metal.
Yeah, right? You hear the name, you look it up, and you get pictures of trees. Yeah. But deep down, it's just has a much richer meaning with a more involved, I don't know, culture, you know? And I don't know, I kind of look at it as a metaphor for us, like how we're just so much more deep down. Like you could look one thing up, but it won't be the full picture, you know? So that's Pistacia.
Yeah, like I looked up this behind me.
Exactly. And you got it.
Now, like pre-COVID, and you guys, how long have you been attending Berkeley? How long you guys been up in the Boston area and working together?
I started attending Berkeley 2017. I am still a student. Yeah, what about you, Theo?
I started in 2016 and I finished like a year ago. So I'm just chilling. I like teach music at a middle school now in Boston. So
nice.
Yeah.
So you've been around the area up there for a while. Like, what's the scene like? The local music scene like up there, Boston?
It's awesome, honestly.
Yeah.
There's plenty of venues that are honestly walking distance from where we live, and accessible by like the bus and stuff. I don't know, there's quite a few. Like, what do you have to say about it?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I was worried because in Minneapolis, since I was like gigging there so much in high school, it was like a great scene in Minneapolis. Like a lot of like hype bands from the last like decade have come from there, like After the Burial, By the Thousands, Earth Groans. Like there's a lot of bands that like came from there. And so I was like, damn, like I don't want this to be a downgrade in terms of like gigging and stuff and opportunities. But like when I came here, it's like it actually really reminds me of that scene. It's like there's a lot of like, it feels very fraternal, and like everyone is like there to like support each other. And there's a lot of venues, and like promoters are like, you know, just trying to like make people have a good time, not like make them like if they don't want to, but like provide the opportunity for those seeking a good time to partake. So yeah, it's like it's good. I really like it here. So.
And who are some of your favorite bands up there that you've checked out?
Sounds and Scenarios. You mean like local bands?
Yeah, local bands that you enjoy or even had the opportunity to play with.
Okay, good. I was like so quick to answer that. Sounds and Scenarios are like more of a pop punk band, and they're awesome. Survive the Sun also came from our school. They're more deathcore. They're going to be playing Welcome to Rockville in November. Yes, November. Excuse me. And let's see. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. We recently played with a band called Caustic Echoes, and I loved them.
Yeah, they're dope. I think there's a band called Outwaves. They're really good. And then there's a band called Eminent. They're incredible. Like literally, if you're listening to this, you just please listen to them. They're so good. They're so good.
Yep, them and Gannon.
Yeah, Gannon is really good too.
My
like
goodness.
So many just incredible players. And like I don't think any of them went to Berkeley or anything. Like they're literally just like amazing players.
Yeah.
Like these guys are pro level, like kind of similar to like Era or like stuff like that. Like yeah. Just like really good prog gent deathcore stuff. So yeah.
So like speaking of your time at Berkeley, like what kind of edge would you say that the education and the training that you've gotten there, what kind of edge do you feel that's given you to be able to get out and branch out as like your own business? Basically, you got to promote, take care of, run your own show there basically. So what kind of edge do you feel you've gotten from being a part of that?
Well, it's funny you said business because I'm a music business major and that's what I focus on. I grasp most concepts of the theory and whatnot and incorporate as much as I can into the songwriting. But I mostly focus on the business aspects. I've taken like a publishing class. I know how that stuff works. I do promotion, social media, publishing, and booking for Pistacia. And through Berkeley, I've, used what I've learned in most of my classes so far, because I'm still like not graduated, and applying them to us to, just do the best that we can with the tools that I've learned, along with possibly connecting with some of my teachers and educators to see if they had any advice for us as well.
It sounds like an outstanding networking opportunity too, from what I was reading with some of the people that have come, performers out there that have already, kind of made it, and they're back passing along their information.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. Yeah. We have like a mentor here who like, he's helped us with like a lot of like advice and stuff in the bass faculty.
Yeah.
He's incredible. Should I name him?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good musician. His name's David Marvuglio. He's incredible.
Yes.
Check out his bands. Like, he's just an amazing person.
Yeah, I think I was reading about what's he with Ice Nine Kills? Was he just at?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
He was just at Ink also. So, did you guys get to, interact with him there? Or?
He's no longer in that band, but he was a few years ago for a brief time.
Yeah, like towards the beginning of the band, I think, when they first started like kind of blowing up. And he's worked with like a lot of bands and like knows a lot of different really prominent musicians and is able to like bring them to Berkeley. It's actually like incredible. Like he's gotten us in contact with certain bands that we really look up to and stuff. Like that guy is like, when you think of like a good mentor and like teacher that like really changes a student's trajectory in like life, he is my immediate go-to. So
Yeah.
he's amazing.
That's awesome. And like what would you say your overall experience was, you know, doing Inkcarceration? Like even like the process of like you guys found out you're playing it and then you know, like you said, you didn't want to get too excited till the day before. You arrive and you're there and you got to perform and then you got to hang out and be a part of the weekend. I'm assuming. I don't know when you guys flew back, but what's your overall experience? What was your overall experience like?
You break the news. Break the news.
All right. So because of COVID and our school's regulations, we unfortunately were not able to stay the entire weekend. However, we enjoyed the most of our time there and got to see. We didn't get to see Spite play because they went right before us.
Yeah, we were like sound checking.
And man,
we heard them. They're
them.
a loud ass band. Like we heard them. They sounded great.
We were over there like doing like a sound check and like our guitarist Ben was just like, he was like, watch out, I gotta do some kicks. And he was just like hardcore dancing to Spite while we were backstage on our own stage. It was really wholesome.
Yeah.
But who did we got to see Ice Nine Kills perform. Oh my gosh, they're
mind blowing.
I've never seen them live, and I know that was their first show since COVID, and we were just blown away. We got as close to the front as we could. Wow, such the showmanship. Like they are performers, and their set was tight. It was amazing. I look up to them so much. I really do.
Yo, it's funny because this was my 5th time seeing them live, and my first time was in 2015, and it was a Halloween show, but it was literally at the smallest all ages venue called The Garage in Burnsville, Minnesota. Like no one knows, like no one is gonna know where that is. And I doubt if Ice Nine Kills even remembers it, but like it was packed out. But like it's literally like the size of the room where it's tiny. And just seeing them, like that being my first time, and Wage War opened and like no one was there for Wage War, but they were amazing. And then like literally just seeing them like a week ago play for that massive festival crowd on the main stage, like just with like production and like just, you know, props and like the outfits and dancers. That's what I'm saying. Like acting, like all of this stuff and like the visuals, like it was just, that's what inspires me, is like seeing stuff like that.
And then how would you say your guys' experience was getting to play?
Well, I'm honestly like still processing it. And I say that because it was, I don't know, while I had been dreaming about that day, like my whole life, I don't know. I never thought I'd see it. It was a dream come true. Honestly, that's what it was to be up there. And, I felt we did a good job. People have connected to us after the show, whether it be through social media or at Ink. We were able to walk around a little bit and people wanted to take pictures. It was very, very nice of them. And I don't know. It was just a surreal experience that I just couldn't possibly like describe to a T. Maybe Theo, you'd have it better.
I feel like, yeah, that kind of captures it. Like I feel like the only time I've ever been as nervous as I was like 10 minutes before going on stage there, like was probably like my first date when I was like 14 or something. Like it was crazy. I was like literally thought I was gonna have a heart attack, and like but it was so incredibly satisfying and like just surreal, very, very surreal. And I want us to like do this. Like I want this to be my job. Like this is like, it's sealed for me. Like I'm doing this.
Exactly. We were talking about that before, how we knew after that performance that we belonged up there, you know, that was like our destiny kind of, and we're gonna work our asses off to get back.
Yeah, you got a taste. Now you want to, go back and try out the rest of the menu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And it's like not even in like a conceited way. It's like literally I feel like I have so much to learn from that kind of experience. And like I want to be able to like learn everything that it has to offer. And like I want to have fans that like can give input and like I can, adjust. Like I don't know, I want there to be like a conversation between us and like, hopefully future people who want to listen to us and want to see us. And like I just love communicating with like the audience on stage. It's like just so satisfying and like cathartic. Yeah.
And what was the atmosphere like, behind the scenes for you guys? I mean, it had to be a little odd this year because of the COVID measures and stuff like that. But how'd you feel like it was ran and all that?
The people who organize the festival and help with the artists, like whoever's behind the scenes there, amazing at their job. I had zero things to stress about. I had tea. They had tea there for us, and I was like, yo, I was about to run to a 7-Eleven in the middle of nowhere. Like, so much water available. They really took care of us, and it was so amazing to see. As far as like the people in charge of it, but Danny Wimmer Presents did a great job with that. But as far as just like how like we were feeling, I don't know. I was like tense beforehand. I ate oatmeal behind spite and didn't know what to do, like, oh man.
Did you guys like get to, say hi to any of the other artists that you were fans of back there? Or?
Yeah. I like said hi to a couple bands. I wanted to like, sort of tread the line between like being really like obsequious and like, like annoying them when they're like trying to, mentally prepare and like, get all their stuff together. But like I was like, I'm not gonna miss this opportunity to like say hi, and like shake someone's hand. And so I like met a couple people and it was like really amazing. We met we had like a pretty extended conversation with the dude from Along Came the Spider.
Oh, they're great.
Yeah, they're great. They were super, super nice. And like they killed it too, by the way.
Yeah,
I
know Tony. He's a good dude.
Mm-hmm.
And then like what's something that you guys feel like you can learn and improve upon from that experience?
Where to start? A lot of stuff personally, I feel like.
Yeah, personally, we all have like our own things. Like, I don't know. Like for me personally, I'd be like a longer warm up time. Don't rush that sort of thing. But also learning how to approach other artists, even if it's just to say, "Hey, great job," or "Big fan, break a leg." Like even if it's simple like that. That's my goal for next time, because hopefully there will be.
Yeah.
That's awesome opportunity for networking, and building those connections to get you into other areas.
We did bring business cards, but we ran out.
I know.
Yeah. So there were like I was part of that is my fault because I just gave so many to like everybody. Like literally right after we got off stage, me and Ron, the bassist, just like went out and like I'm wearing my fishnet and like people are like, yo, you're in fishnet. So I'm pretty sure you're probably the guy who played. And I'm like, yeah, what's up? Like giving out business cards, like check us out, please. And we ran out, but
okay. But we learned our lesson. I just bought 500. They're sitting in our living room. We won't run out again.
Sweet. And then what kind of like personal goals do you guys have going forward?
Like as a band?
Yeah.
Okay.
To start opening for larger bands in our area. I think that's like next step for us, because I mean, you gotta start somewhere. And proving that ourselves as Pistacia can pull a crowd.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
so that we could eventually play larger venues, because it'd be sick to do a tour as well. That's an awesome goal to have as well, but got to grow our following throughout at least the East Coast.
Yeah, I also feel like COVID kind of turned upside down the model of like, oh, like you're supposed to play shows, tour, and then you get to take your like music seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like I feel like we're kind of, at least in my mind, I feel like we're kind of like, we're taking gigs as they come, but we're also like balls to the wall on like music, and
Yes.
like we're trying to make like baller ass music.
Yes, focusing most of our energy on promotion and streams, being that due to
She's
COVID,
good at that. She's good at that.
doing what I can. Due to COVID, the streaming industry, I guess I could say, has just had this huge boom, and it's continuing to increase ever so slightly as of lately because of things of like opening up, but it's still like growing. And so just hopping on that energy, following the hype of Inkcarceration. Yeah, we're gonna, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's good idea to focus on, you know, what you have to present and, you know, just kill it with the music and stuff during this downtime. So then when the doors open, you know, everything is just, everybody's like hit with like, wow, this was really tight. I definitely want to check these guys out again and all that. So, you know, there are positives to, you know,
totally
what happened, you know.
No,
like for me, it's like I got 2 daughters, and it was like, you know, they're teenagers or young adults now. And so we were just kind of like roommates passing each other by. And then we had to like lock down and reconnect. And, you know, so there's a lot of positives that come out of the downtime, but I'd still much rather balance, remember the important stuff, but balance being able to get out and enjoy the world again, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, totally agree with that.
And then you mentioned Loaded Gun already, but what's like one of your, you know, favorite tracks that you feel gets the best response when you play live?
So
those would be 2 different answers, though.
Yes, they would be.
Yeah. Best reaction live and experience live versus what our objectively best song is, I feel like are 2 different things.
Yeah. So what do you think?
I personally am sort of biased, but like I think that like either the first song that we played, which is called
It Was the Cat.
Yes. That or Melatonin, the one that's like our top streamed song with a music video. Check it out.
Yes.
Those 2 would probably be like the best reaction live because we like they're easier to play, and so we can just kind of like, you know, like just
really engage with the audience as
well.
So.
Yeah, and just like, you know, go ham. But I personally, I feel like to listen to either Loaded Gun, just because it's like really riffy and like kind of just the nerdy guitar stuff that I like to listen to, or Hematophagus, one that Vic wrote, that's like sort of more like there's acoustic guitars in it and stuff. It's like we played it, I think, 3rd, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was the 3rd song we played. We actually, I don't think we have a recording of us playing that at Ink, but it is the single to come next.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Unless it's no, it's a single. Yeah. I agree with all of that, really.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And then like what would you say the creative process has been for you guys, you know, when you get together and start recording, like each individually? Like Vic, I know yours would probably be different than Theo's. So
right. So one thing that I love so much about Pistacia is that there is so much collaboration, whether it be like Loaded Gun. Theo wrote that song. He wrote the music for that song like years ago. And then he wanted to make it a Pistacia song, and I threw vocals onto it. I wrote vocals for it, lyrics, melody, whatever, what may have you. Melatonin, I wrote that. Ron, our bassist, wrote the breakdown. Let's see, It Was the Cat. That was musically Theo and Ben, and then like I also wrote vocals for that.
And Riley did some stuff on that too.
Oh
The
yeah,
drummer,
he rewrote a riff.
yeah,
oh my God.
our drummer really likes to do like arranging stuff. Like, so when we get to rehearsal, we'll have like the stuff learned, and then he'll be like, nah, none of this part sounds good. And then we'll be like, okay. And then he'll be like, this is what I want you to do. And I want Vic to do this. And I want Ben to do that. And then like, how about you do this like weird texture thing? And then like, it ends up sounding really sick. So
like he's good at it.
Yeah, he's good at that. He's got a good ear for like what he doesn't like and how to fix that. So yeah.
He's originally a guitarist at Berkeley, and then he ends up being like one of the best drummers I've ever seen come from the school.
Yeah.
Very intriguing.
I'd never tell him that to his face because he's got a big head, but he's really
very well-rounded musician. We're very happy to work with him. Anyways, creative process.
Yeah, I feel like it's different for every song too.
Yeah, it's
different people.
So I guess one of my favorite things to do, and I learned this from one of my heroes. I don't know if I can share this, but anyway, I spoke to someone I looked up to last year, and a tip that they shared was when you have the music, you sing syllables, or you would scream syllables. Don't put words into it. Focus solely on catchiness, rhythm, and a melody that just gets stuck in your head. And once you have that worked out beautifully, then you could add words to it. So that you don't have to focus so much on like deep lyrical meaning. I mean, yes, you can, but to focus on that at the same time as making just good music can kind of conflict sometimes. It's
kind of a zero-sum game sometimes. I feel like that it's funny because I'm like the opposite. Like I feel like when I write vocals, like I always write the lyrics first. Like it's always just like, and then I have to like think of some melody that's gonna like work with the lyrics. But I don't know why. I just like I can't do the like melody first thing.
Depends on the song too.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't know. It's fun though. It's fun.
And then it sounds like you guys got like quite a bit of tracks. Have you put out an album yet that you've been promoting?
Not yet. So our timeline's looking like, so we just released Loaded Gun. It's going to be one more single, and then we're going to release an EP. Not looking at doing like a full-length album until like we grow our following, because, you know, money goes into that, you know, yeah, it just makes more sense because some people like in the industry are saying like the album's dead. I don't fully agree with that.
Yeah.
But as far as starting up a project, what we've noticed is that singles and smaller releases tend to get the best traction. So we're focusing our energy on that in the meanwhile.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, cool, man. I want to ask you guys some of the questions I normally ask guests that I have on here. Who are some of your top 3 musical artists?
Oh, you first.
Me first?
Yeah, go.
Okay. All right. Okay. The Beatles, the 1975, and Sleep Token.
That really that's Theo right there. I could hear that.
I try to be as not metal as possible in terms of like my aesthetic.
Sweet. And how about you, Vic?
Lady Gaga, definitely like up there as far as like performance, vocal style, to everything. Pierce the Veil.
Oh, I should have said Pierce the Veil. I switch Sleep Token for Pierce the Veil. No Sleep Token, but like Pierce the Veil. No,
oh my gosh, the way that they influence Pistacia, that reminds me. Our whole band, we have worked together before we started Pistacia, and that was in a Pierce the Veil ensemble. Basically, it's a cover band for a grade. I hate to like describe it that way, but that's essentially
that's exactly what it is.
That's essentially what it is. Except we had a different drummer. So yeah, that's how we knew that like we could work well together. So when I was looking for members, I was like, hey y'all. Anyway, so Pierce the Veil, Lady Gaga. I'm gonna go with the new one because it's really hard to think of like influence.
Are you about to say Brand of Sacrifice?
I'm about to say Brand of Sacrifice.
Okay.
Love them, the theatrics and how big their music is. Oh my gosh, I think their current drummer came from Berkeley. I'm saying I think because I actually am gonna second guess myself. Anyway, very talented musicians and vocalist. Oh my gosh, I wish I could make half the sounds that guy makes. Kyle Anderson. I know his first name's Kyle. Anyway, amazing talent. I look up to them a lot actually now.
Nice. And then is there a particular song that you guys have that's like a go-to that, you know, inspires you whenever you're just going through a rough time or whatever? It's one you can always throw on and picks you up.
Oh my gosh. Wait, it's got to be a Pierce the Veil song.
Oh, it definitely.
But which one? 100 Sleepless Nights is the funnest one to play for us together, but you name one.
I'm gonna name the one that I usually name, and then you can name the like cooler one.
Okay.
Okay. So I like to listen to a song from their first album, "Falling Asleep on a Stranger." It's just a good song. And singing it too. It's just these like big belty notes. It's so much fun, and I don't know, makes me feel better. What would you say?
Yeah, I feel like Ron and I, the bassist, our favorite like collectively is Stained Glass Eyes and Colorful Tears by Pierce the Veil off of their Collide with the Sky album. That one is like very good, just like poppy, but like still got a cool, nice little riff, you know, like, yeah, it's just like a nice song. It's a nice one. It makes me feel emotions.
Yes.
You know?
That whole album.
Yeah.
Now here's another question. What class do you feel should be mandatory before you can graduate high school?
Ooh. Okay.
See, that's a tough one because I could go with like the answer I'm sure many people have given you, and like the one that like I would hear a lot, like something related to how to pay taxes. And you know what? I'm gonna go with like job search, like building like a resume, possibly an artist portfolio, depending on like your possible career path. Like that was never required for me in high school, how to learn how to make a resume. And I just found that interesting now that I'm older.
That's very, very practical.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like critical thinking, because especially now, I feel like everybody is so polarized that like I feel like you need high school kids who are going to college to be able to question things that they hear. And I don't care what it is, like you just need to be able to tell the difference between like, you know, beliefs and facts. That's important. So
amen. You can't just get it all from a funny meme.
Yeah, exactly. No, totally.
And then who are like 3 people who've inspired you or you can credit for making you the person you are today?
Okay, so
like famous people?
I mean, just people in your life along your journey, like that you feel have, you know, inspired you or left a lasting impression and helped make you a part of who you are today.
I'll start. So I was friends with, I'll have this be like one answer because it's kind of one and the same. Kelsey Waller and Brianna Harris. They got me into My Chemical Romance and Pierce the Veil. If it weren't for them, like I'd probably like still be listening to like Gaga and Gaga alone. And so like I thank them for like, I don't know, getting me into rock music and like heavier music as well. And then my dad, he would always tell me it doesn't matter what you do as long as you're the best at it. And he was actually there at Inkcarceration with my mother. They're very supportive. They drove from North Carolina to Ohio to see us perform. And that's the first time they've ever seen me do metal. The last time they've seen me perform was when I was Morticia Adams in my high school's musical. So like seeing like from this to like this, I don't know. They were like, damn, Vic. It was very interesting. And like the heaviest music my father listens to is Rob Zombie. So like that was definitely interesting for him to witness. And my mom listens to Celia Cruz and the pop radio. So she was also like, but supportive nonetheless. And
so did they stick around for the rest of the weekend and check out Rob Zombie?
They did. I think they had to leave before Rob Zombie because I don't know, they're older. They wanted to go home, but like they couldn't like do the whole like day of whatever. But they had a lot of fun regardless. Got into some new bands. You know, my dad for Steel Panther, he was like, yeah, you know, he loved them.
That figures.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And Theo, how about you?
I think my grandma, like my dad's mom, who she's still alive. Actually, all my grandparents are still alive. So I hope the rest of them don't see this because I'm naming her specifically. But like, not in like a bad way. Like I love all my grandparents, but like her, because she's like a Holocaust survivor and like just instilled in me like a lot of the critical thinking skills that I feel like are necessary for me now to like be able to, I don't know, just like know that everyone's coming from a different experience and like be able to listen to everyone and just like kind of see people's common humanity, which I obviously still struggle to do like everyone else, you know, like I can be a dick sometimes, but like that she just was very, very like willing to talk to me about heavy shit, like just death and like, you know, your mortality and like just stuff, you know, like I told her when I first like experimented with drugs and stuff and like everything, right? And she was always really open about it. And she told me stories, like really scary stories that like actually used to give me nightmares. And my parents got really mad at her one time because she always showed me like she's from France. And so like I would always go there and movies have different rating systems. So everything there is pretty much rated G except for like Saw. So like she would show me like really creepy movies like The Orphan and like Hide and Seek and stuff when I was like a kid. And like that just gave me nightmares. But she loved scary stuff. So her, my dad, for very much similar reasons, I feel like he like definitely gave me my sense of humor. Like he's just like a really, really funny person. And also like music, like he would, you know, play piano with me on his lap when I was like 1 year old. And like, I feel like that's probably what I know that a lot of that stuff is like developmentally important. And yeah, he was always like really embarrassing because he has a really thick French accent, but now I'm glad because it, you know, he raised me speaking French, and that's something that I'm like super thankful for. And then maybe I'm gonna say I feel like there's so many people I could say. I'm gonna say specifically just because I already mentioned him, David Marvuglio, for like putting me on the trajectory that I'm on. And like also just there one time he had a meeting with me after an ensemble. And I had like major imposter syndrome at Berkeley because everyone's so good. And he was just like, Theo, I want to see you be like a leader. Like, I want to see you play music that you write, you know? And like, I want to help you with that because I think you could do it. And like, he's not that kind of person. Like our joke about him is that every time we play and we like slay something, like we really nail it, he'll be like, yeah, it's getting there. It's all right. Like super harsh, but like in a good way.
Yes.
But like just hearing him say that to me one time and give me an A when I thought I deserved like a B-, because he asks you what you think you deserve. And he said A. And I was like, dude, I'm not gonna let you down. Like I'm gonna make it happen. So yeah, I want to thank him for sure.
That's awesome. I feel like I'm kind of talking to my kids a little bit because my oldest is going for music at a community college right now. So that's why I was asking all these Berklee questions.
Yeah.
But I've been kind of trying to push her like, man, learn the business. The business will always be there. And that's how you network and you have something to fall back on. You have a good voice and you can perform, but it's good to have that business. And then my youngest, she loves French. So
yeah. Wow. Nice.
And then here's a question that is really popular with my guests. I'm sure this will kind of be different with the time differences and age and all that stuff. But what was your favorite toy as a child?
Oh my God, I already know.
Oh, I don't know. What is yours?
Okay, mine was a Paddington Bear that I just completely wore out. Like literally, I still have it actually. It's in this little igloo thing, like a stuffed animal igloo. I collected stuffed animals. I was like obsessed with stuffed animals, and until I was like maybe like 13. And like I had this Paddington Bear that was like, it was like a baby toy. So it like, you know, it didn't have like legs. It was like you hold it like it's like a like that, right? And you hold it like that and it shakes, it rattles. Like there's a little, you know, the things inside the head. And literally all of its face is just gone. Like it just has like eyes. And I just like destroyed it. And like I know that my parents, like I would drive them absolutely insane. There were a few times when I'd lose it that I just went crazy. Like one time I like dropped it out of my stroller and like freaked out, and my parents had to like walk back like a mile and like ask random people, and a lady had picked it up and so she like gave it to us. It was like whole thing. But yeah, Pat, my boy Pat.
And how about you, Vic?
You gave such a good answer. I honestly, my favorite toy as a kid, okay, here's one that's like a very vivid like memory. I think this is like the day I gained consciousness actually.
Ooh,
is
okay.
So like I liked the Barbie movies. Princess and the Pauper was my favorite.
Ooh.
And I had the life-size doll. I was like 5.
I did not know this.
I had the life-size doll. I was like 5, and I've always been a big kid. I didn't even ask my mom. I just started stripping her because I wanted to wear her dress. That's like, apparently that's like why I wanted it, the doll itself, but I couldn't articulate that, but I just wanted the dress. I wanted nothing to do with her afterwards. I just wanted to
So
wear
it's
the
like
dress.
I got to take a mannequin home, basically, right?
Yeah, and then I would like just prance around in it, like singing the songs from Princess and the Pauper. That and like Sleeping Beauty too. I would just put on that dress and like do like opera around the house or something.
Nice.
God.
So before we get ready and wrap up, like if people are new to learning about your band and want to learn more and check you guys out and everything, where would you send them?
I would send them to, honestly, I think Instagram is the best way to keep up with us. We post, or at least try to, daily and let y'all know about releases and whatnot. And our Instagram is at Pistacia Official. Pistacia spelled the way it is on the screen, official. And we also have a Facebook that we keep updated, but I don't know. And Instagram just like looks nicer for us. So
Yeah, I feel like also Spotify and YouTube, like if you tight. Like Melatonin has like a really sick video, and like yeah, you should check that out. Pistacia, Melatonin.
Yes, we will be posting and like I'll tell y'all first because I haven't like announced it yet, but we are going to post the video recording of us performing Loaded Gun, our most recent single, available on all streaming platforms. Yeah, because we got a video of us performing our first 2 songs at Inkcarceration, like in full, and we were very happy that someone was able to do that for us. So, yeah. Awesome.
Well, guys, I really appreciate your time and picking your brain on Berkeley and everything. And it's been a really, really cool conversation, man. Hope to see you guys come through again on the next year's festival.
Please, from your lips to God's ears. Thank you. I really, really appreciate you like doing this for us.
Thank you so much for speaking with us today and having us on your show. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
No problem. You guys take care.
Yeah, you too, man. You too.
Bye-bye.